legislation.
It is about 3:14. Call this meeting of Executive and Finance Committee to order. Councilor Thornton, you are on vacation.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for the guests that are here from the at-large communities. Thank you for the guests that are here from the in-large communities. Be with them, protect them while they're here, and show them grace on the way home. Also, protect our military folks that's overseas, that's in harm's way, and be with each and one of them. And also, Father, thank you for giving us the opportunity to be here and to do the work for our Cherokee people, which is the most satisfying thing that we could do in our time. So, in Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
You do roll call for us?
Yes, ma'am. Jody Fishinghawk. Here. Shanice Taylor.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Harley Buzzard.
Here.
Joe Byrd.
Honey.
Julia Coates.
Here.
Janelle Fulbright. John Garvin. Tracy Marcus. Hannah Glory Jordan. Lee Keener. Dick Lay.
Here.
Curtis Snell.
Here.
David Thornton. Victoria Bisquist. David Walkenstick. Kara Callan Watts. We have a quorum.
I entertain approval of the minutes from July 31st.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. Moving into reports. I saw Sean Slayton here.
Good afternoon. I'll be reporting on the month of June 2014. Very good month. Businesses continue to do well and exceed budget and target. And last year, we've had a good summer, and we're plowing forward on our projects and things. Working hard over at C&I to correct that trend. We made headway this year, and I was looking at their budget for next year, and we really are anticipating not a complete turnaround there, but certainly a good dent in the hole that they've been in the past couple of years. That's always been a long-term fix, long-term contracts with the airline company, so once you get in, it takes a little while to get out. Do what?
I'm sorry, I was talking.
Sorry about that. Things are looking good on our projects. It was good to see some of you there at South Coffeyville yesterday. We had an excellent turnout from the community. A lot of support from C&B and also our board of directors, but we were very pleased with the community leaders and the community itself that turned out there. We mobilized this week on site. We anticipate a mid-February completion date of Phase 1, which is a temporary facility, much like we did at Ramona. We will let that operate while we evaluate how strong that market is. And once we prove the market, then we'll look at maybe putting a permanent structure there that is somewhat the size of Ramona, maybe a little smaller, but we're excited about that, and I think the community is too. And it was well attended by administration. I don't want to leave them out. We're hard at work on the master plan for the Wilcox property down the street here, and I think shortly we'll have some things to report out on that, and I think you'll be pleased with what you see there. Hard at work down at Rolling with the casino and the hotel. We pushed the hotel back 2 months, make it tornado, more strength there in case a tornado hits it. That added 6 weeks, I think, to the project. We've also determined that market down there and that site needs a parking garage. The business case supported that, so we're in plans to add a parking garage to that facility. If you've driven through West Siloam lately, you'll see there by the city complex, their administration building, the water tower that's going up. That will feature a logo that has West Siloam. It'll have the Cherokee Casino West Siloam logo on it, and it will also have the Cherokee Nation logo on it as well. So we appreciate their cooperation with that. I think they certainly appreciate our financial contribution to that. That will ensure water supply for the city and the town and the casino should they have a pressure situation there where they can't pump water now. That'll be remedied. Clinics are moving along. I did misreport on Redbird last month. There was a meeting behind that had slipped to October 15th for various reasons, but they're on a recovery trail there, and hopefully it won't be quite that long, but it is moving along, as are the others. And that concludes my report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Yes, Councilor Buzzer?
Sean, that Langley property over by West Siloam Springs, is that the property that's just west of the existing casino?
Yes, sir. I believe it's 10 acres.
10 acres, okay.
Just to the west of us.
Have we made any determination on what we're going to do?
No, sir. We just bought that. We'd heard rumblings that some other people were looking at that, what they were looking at it for. We didn't feel like that was appropriate, so we bought that for perpetuity.
And a follow-up question on the roller casino, how much of a cost, estimated cost are we looking at for a new garage?
I believe the cost on the garage is like $5 million.
And then the safe room, what did that increase the cost by?
$250,000, I think.
That's good. Now, I believe in these safe rooms. I think if we're going to construct, we need to do safe rooms.
But we had a good opportunity there on the ground floor, and so we took it.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Councilor Lay?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sean, we
Yes, sir.
used to have, I think, about 90% Cherokee employment at Ramona. I think we're down to about 72 or 3, something in that neighborhood. Can you guys kind of work to correct that for us a little bit?
Absolutely, and I know you're up in that area, if you've got some people that you know need a job, if you could refer them to me or Bob Thomas or the property there, that would be great. I looked at, you brought that up at the council meeting, so I had them put a graph together, and I think we were at 73 in January and 75.5 at the end of July. So I think we've trended up, gone down, and then trended back up there. But we're in need of good Cherokee people up there, and that will go for Coffeyville as well. I'm told that we're going to have a challenge up there, and so we need all the help that we can get and referrals of people up in that area that are Cherokee that you might know that would like to go to work for us. They're good jobs, good benefits, and they're long-term. So,
Thank you.
Councilor Cowan Watts?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I know that West Siloam Springs has been struggling as a town because they sent the whole council letters on the water. So would you explain to me again how we were able to remedy that and what it cost? I mean, it's
Sure.
been needed. I just want to understand better.
I'm not sure that's a short answer because there's a long history there between the city of Siloam and the town of West Siloam. But we buy our water from West Siloam, and they buy it from Siloam Springs. And the town there had, at one point, they had a single loop around the town. So if on the west end there was a hole in the line and they lost pressure, water shut off at the casino, and then we just had to close the casino for safety and issues. We helped them a couple of years ago put a loop through there, where if on the, I believe the east end or the west end, they had a water pressure issue, we could shut off a valve, and that would keep the water in the east half, which pressurized us. The water tower was necessary because whenever there's a drop in pressure in town, the whole town and the casino lose water pressure, especially in the summertime. So there was an engineering study done, and one of the solutions, the quickest solution, was to put a water tower in the town. Town's financially challenged, a lot of Cherokee people there, I forget the exact number. But that impacts us, and not so much this year, but the past 2 summers when it was so dry through the drought, we had a number of closings of our casino. We felt like that's not going to get better long term, so we were better off to pitch in and help, not only from the casino standpoint, but a community standpoint as well.
So did we match it halfway, or how did we do the match?
I think the total price was $2 million. I don't remember if there is a match on that or not. I can get that information.
So we just paid for the $2 million then?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, we lose money every hour we're closed, so I understand that. I just wanted to see how we'd resolved it. Thank you.
That's phase 1 in the resolution of phase 2 is connection to another water source, and they're trying to figure out that.
Thank you very much for your time, Sean. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
I think that's an example. Yesterday at Coffeyville, what the thing that kept coming up is we're a partner to the communities that we locate in, and that's just one example of how we partnered with West Salem Springs to do that. Councilor Keener.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sean, is the IGT upgrade, do they do any cost sharing on that, or do we fall on it?
Some of that we have credits on occasion. I'm not sure which one you're referring to there, but that's an ongoing expense for gaming to keep up with what's going on in the gaming industry.
Is it IGT specific?
The Advantage system. There's a Valley system or an IGT system, and maybe a third one that's kind of less robust than those two, and most of the industry is on Advantage, and so that's supported by IGT.
And also, is there a differential in wages and not shift? Have you considered that?
I don't believe there is, but I can check on that.
Well, if you would, please. It seems like that would be a good thing to do because of the turnaround we have. I see in the reports every month how many people leave. It's kind of a revolving door. I guess it's the same ones that come back, or what?
Well, we're into that phase where we're recycling. A lot of people, they see an opportunity somewhere else that they think they like, and sometimes that works out, and sometimes it doesn't. A lot of those are good employees, and so we welcome them back. They'd like to come back to work for us.
Long-term strategy to keep those. Somebody else opens up another place. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes, we've begun working on that, and that is part of the mitigation plan that we plan to put in place. So there's a number of items to that. Employee retention would be one of those.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Does anybody else have any questions of Sean Slayton? Other than that, just keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Sean. Next, we'll have our treasurer, Lacey Horn, present her report.
Good afternoon, Council. I don't have much else to report other than what's in my report, other than the budget that's going forward. We will pass tonight. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Are there any questions?
Good report. Good report, Lacey.
Now I'll call Diane Kelly.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. I think career services is the best flavor in town this week. We've been getting all kinds of phone calls. Can we get help cooking beans? Can we get help cooking taters? Can we get help cleaning this up? We're bombarded with phone calls, and even some of you all have called us. We're doing the best that we can with the students that we have over at Job Corps. We're doing the best that we can with all the participants. We've got a lot of them out working with the crews on the housing rehab. So, needless to say, if you put a request in, we have it. But if you didn't put a request in, I'm sorry. That's all I can say. I just want to tell you that I have to commend Jeff Carroll in the IT department and his staff, as well as Ed Bryce and Tom Duncan at C&B. They have worked tirelessly in trying to get our offices set up in Tulsa and in Pryor, and we're still having problems with AT&T in Pryor, and I'm hoping that we'll get it accomplished real quick. He's hoping it'll be soon. We are in the process of trying to get an office established in Salisaw for our department, as well as the Tax Commission and Indian Child Welfare. We've been going back and forth down in Salisaw as well, and one of the things that's going to hold us up, we know, is the telephone system, but we're thinking we'll be in there by October. We do have staff that we have hired through the JD-NEG program. All of the information's gone over. They're doing the reference checks. As soon as we get those offices fully staffed, we are planning ribbon cutting open house. So just bear with us, because in September you'll be getting information about those two offices, Pryor and Tulsa, and then in October we hope to do something with Salisaw. We're real excited. We've had a lot of support from administration as well as the programs, and we know that when you see the offices you're going to appreciate what we're doing, and hopefully when we get up there at Tulsa we can help Sean and Mark with some of the positions that they've got open, because with this new grant we're going to be able to hire some additional job developers, 3 of them, and we're hoping that the group that's going to be working out of the Pryor office can help with that Ochaleta area, because we're going to pull all those teams up there to help with the hiring, and that was the whole intent of those job developers, and it was the intent of our grant that we submitted. We do have 2 other grants out there. We won't know whether or not we got those until September. One of them is a Department of Labor grant. It's for $10 million, and it will enhance the capabilities of doing vocational training as well as on-the-job training. So we've got our fingers crossed, because that's the one we really put a lot of sweat into, and we know we submitted a good grant, but we just don't know how competitive it's going to be out there. So if it happens, then we're going to Salisaw with several of those people because of the high unemployment. Our economic development team is working with several of the economic development groups. The last week in September is National Manufacturing Week, and we're working with 7 of the counties up in the northern area, and we're going to be doing a joint job fair at the Mid-America Industrial Park at the Expo Center the last week in September, and we're hoping that we can do our ribbon cutting open house in conjunction with that National Manufacturing Week, and we're going to get with administration and see if we can get the chief to do a resolution for it, because it is a big national thing, and they really wanted us to be involved in it. When we went to the meeting, after the meeting, they just kind of flocked to Cherokee Nation because they knew that we had a lot of manpower and a lot of resources. So they're counting on us to help them with a lot of things up there. So we're real excited. Jeff Vance wanted me to report. We're closing out the end of the fiscal year, and I believe one of you all asked about how many people we had served on day training this past year. As of, I believe it was June the 30th, 3,648 people. That's a lot of people.
That's good.
Are there any questions?
Very good,
Does anybody
Diane.
have any questions of Diane Kelly? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Keep
Thank
up
you.
the good work. And Anna Knight's coming forward with Commerce Department.
I just wanted to update you. We did receive, it was publicized this week that we did get the $750,000 CDFI grant for consumer lending. So that and the matching funds from the council will really go a long ways to helping us with the consumer loan fund. I wanted to remind everyone the Northeast Oklahoma Regional Summit's coming up October 7th. Registration should open next week. We also were able to obtain a USDA value-added producers grant, which is going to help us perform a feasibility study on commercializing the seed bank that Pat Gwynn works with. And other than that, we're just working on rain plans for this weekend, regrettably. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Who wrote your grant?
Which grant?
The one you said you got 750,000.
Oh, it's a joint effort between a lot of people.
Yeah.
So Robin Stand writes a lot of our grants, but it's
We really
really a
have good
joint.
grant writers here at Cherokee Nation.
We do.
We can compete with anybody, so commend your grant writers.
I will.
Anything else? Hey, Ann, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to consent items. We have a list of tarot vendors. And is anybody here from the tarot office?
Yeah, Willard.
John's in travel. He's coming back from one of the job sites.
Okay, do you believe this list is complete?
Yes.
Okay, so I would entertain a motion to approve this list.
Make a motion to be approved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the list, say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. Thank you. Next is the cemetery restoration assistance. I think the list is in our books.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like there's been any additions since we don't have a new list. So,
That's correct. It's 12. I don't think there was any new additions
any new
this
ones?
much.
Okay.
I know most of you guys are aware that Carla's been out and she works on the cemetery and the sports teams quite a bit. Gail's been working on them, but we'll be sure to have a
Okay.
full complete list next month on that. So make sure we pick everything up.
Okay, we were handed a new community assistance list. So everybody could take a look at that and be sure that yours are correct. Did you have a comment, Mr. Baker?
Yes, I would like to add $1,100 to the Cherokee at Large Leadership Network.
What was the name of that again?
The Cherokees at Large Leadership Network.
Okay.
Councilor Lay, did you have something?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Jody, looks like I've got 500 here. If we could split that out between Nowita, Cherokee, and Washington County, Cherokee. And 50 each.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, and Councilor Hargis has something for you.
Jody, I need to add Peavine School for $250.
Okay.
Make a motion to be approved.
Oh, I don't think we're done.
I got some discussion
Jane,
still.
Councilor Walking Stick, did you have something to add?
Yeah, I was looking at mine. I got 1955 for Sequoia High School on page 4-6. And then I got two other $500 items going towards Sequoia as well. Can you direct those two $500 items? 'Cause I got Sequoia on there 3 times, Jody. And so one of them's 1955, and then their two are $500 a pop. So the $1,000, the two $500 items for Sequoia, can you put those towards the Tahlequah radio station? We got $750 left, right? Because of the
We'll take care of that next month. We still have one more.
We have one more. Okay, all right. That's all. Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome. Yes, Councilor Thornton.
Yeah, I'd like to know is, folks that are here today, is anyone in here from the Orange County Cherokee Association at California? I'd like to donate $500 to the Orange County Cherokee Association of California.
Aren't you sweet?
Too bad, y'all like that. Well, that's a contact.
Are there any other changes to this list? Councilor Garvin?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Motion be approved.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve this list. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Let's move on to law enforcement.
We do have a new list handed out.
Motion be approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the law enforcement list. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Okay. Let's move on to roads.
Don't have any changes from the report that's in the book.
I can't do it.
If there are no changes, I would entertain a motion to approve the roads list as it's in your book.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Garvin. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Say aye. Any opposition? Okay. Were there any sports team applications?
Like earlier, I know we have some in that's being verified through registration and stuff, so we'll have the full
We'll
complete
do
list
that
next month.
next meeting. So let's take a look at the livestock. We do have a list.
Yeah,
those
there's
in
no
here?
additions on the
Okay.
livestock, so it's just here today.
Okay, so could I get a motion to amend what's in the
So
book?
moved.
I mean, to
So moved.
approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Okay, any opposition? Okay, there's no old business, so let's move on to item number 1 on new business. Councilor Thornton?
Yes, this resolution authorizing Cherokee Nation Housing Rehab to donate a surplus travel trailer to Robert Taylor in Sequoia County. I'll put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Motion second.
Okay, and I have a comment. This person is not related to me. Yes, Councilor Calhoun Watts.
He's very
Thank you.
identifiable.
Madam Chair, is that the Buy-in Peace Center, or where did you say it was
No.
going? An individual or a group?
Individual.
Is that normal?
No, it isn't.
Is there a reason?
Yes, there is.
Is there a reason we can discuss on public record so people
Yes,
know
there
why they're
is.
not getting a trailer?
Yes, there is.
Okay, very good.
Okay, this is a very small trailer. What happened was about 4 or 5 years ago, this person and his wife lived in a little small motor home. It was about a 10 motor home when you went inside it. I mean, you just had enough room to walk down the middle of it. One slept on one side and one slept on the other. It wasn't a new place that wouldn't run, but it was out on his property, and it had electricity. And he had an old septic sewer tank there, but didn't work half the time. But anyway, what we did was sign him up for a house. And in the meantime, while they were signed up for a house, his wife contacted cancer. She went through cancer treatments, and I was bugging the Housing Authority all the time to get them some kind of place to live. And so they said, well, we'll put them up at Redbird, and we've got a little travel trailer we'll put them in. So that's where they went. They went to Redbird. And they had a travel trailer up there that was waiting to receive a home from Housing Authority, was going to give them a home. And they was all set. They could make their payments. They was paying the electric and the water and the sewer and all that. Well, Mrs. Taylor died, and she was a very kind and good person. Mr. Taylor is a very identifiable full-blood Cherokee. He's a very proud person. And after she died, well, he stayed in that trailer for about 2 or 3 months along with their dogs, which they had 2 or 3 dogs in the trailer. So after that, Kara, he had a bad stroke. And he lost some of his vision, most of it. And his daughter asked if we couldn't move the trailer back down to where he did live, and because it was close to her and she could take care of him. She was driving about 24 miles a day, 25 miles a day to take care of him. So I went into the Housing Authority and asked them if they could. They said they thought they could. So at that time, we let them have the trailer, and they moved it. Now it comes up, it's a trailer out of that Katrina business, and it was used, the way I looked at it, it was used for office at one time. But yeah, I'm asking that this trailer be donated to Robert Taylor. And he's actually doing a little better right now. So that's the story.
Thank you.
Is there any more discussion on this? I believe we have a motion and a second. No, we shall in the votes. Okay. So all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Very good, it carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Moving on to number 2, Councilor Calhoun Watts, would you like to take that?
Yeah, this has actually been led by Councilman Keener, so it'd be more appropriate if he took it.
All right, Councilor Keener.
Madam Chair, this is a resolution authorizing the Cherokee Nation Marshal Service to donate a surplus exercise equipment. Marshal Buell said that he has had this, and he wanted to make sure we went through the proper channels to get it to the Cherokee Nation Senior Center. I put that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay. Move on to number 3, which is a budget modification. Councilor Gore Jordan, could you take that for us?
Yes, this is an act amending Legislative Act number 22-13, authorizing the comprehensive capital budget for fiscal year 2014. It'll be known as Mod 9, and I would put that in the form of a motion.
Second. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Jody, would you just go over this for us real quickly?
Sure. There's one budget, tribal complex roof replacement, 796-5400 capital projects. This is a modification requesting, it's actually a 0 change in expenditure authorization. However, it is requesting a change in the type of the authorization from expenditure to transfer out. That'll be $2,400,000 transfer out to general fund operations, and the transfer from the general fund operations will be further defined in the operating budget, Mod 12.
All those in favor of this modification say aye. Aye. All those opposed? brings us to the other side of that equation. Councilor Vasquez, would you read that for us?
Yes, this is an act amending Legislative Act 21-13, authorizing the comprehensive operating budget for fiscal year 2014, Mod 12, and declaring an emergency. And I put this in the form of a motion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Would you do the same thing for us on this one, Jody?
Yes. There is $1,152,888 in grant reporting this month, and $4,305,997 in the request, and there's 11 budgets. Item 1 is charitable contributions, 1010-042, general fund. Modification requesting a decrease in expenditure authorization of $11,513. This will fund the additional need request for the Cherokee Nation Rodeo in the land development, item number 6. Item 2, Sequoia Activity Fund, 1010-169, general fund. This is a new budget requesting expenditure authorization of $90,000 to bring the Sequoia High School Activity Fund under the Cherokee Nation and its financial system. Revenues are also budgeted at $90,000, so it's a net zero budget. Item 3, general fund operations, 1010-280, general fund. Some modification requesting an increase in expenditure authorization of $2,369,695. Funds are provided by a transfer in of $2,369,695 from tribal complex roof replacement budget and capital mod 9 request. The $2,369,695 will be transferred out to the following motor fuel tax, higher ed scholarships, $687,000. Sequoia High School Education Administration, $1,258,935. And Sequoia High School Facilities Projects, $423,760. Item 4, Cherokee Publications, General Fund, 1011-070. Modification requesting an increase in expenditure authorization of $4,739 from additional donations received on Cherokee Nation Publication subscription donations. And item 5. Item 5 is the Cherokee Nation Publications subscription donations, 1011-071 under the general fund. Modification requesting an increase in expenditure authorization of $8,617 from an increase in estimated donations. The $8,617 will be transferred out to items number 4 at 55% of the total general fund, and item 8, 45% will go to the IDC portion. Item 6, Land Development, 1012-350, General Fund. It's a modification requesting an increase in expenditure authorization of $31,513 for the Cherokee Nation Rodeo. The funds are provided by $20,000 for sponsorships and $11,513. That's $10,000 plus the IDC that's coming from the charitable contributions budget. Item 7, motor fuel tax, higher ed scholarships, 102-4001 motor fuel tax. It's a modification requesting an increase in expenditure authorization of $687,000 for scholarships due to the growth of 300 students. This will bring the total for this budget to $11,203,500. Of the total, $5,259,668 is for motor fuels tax, and the balance of $5,943,832 is provided from the general fund. Item 8, Cherokee Publications IDC, 204-1030, indirect cost pool. It's modification requesting an increase in expenditure authorization of $3,878 from additional donations received on Cherokee Nation Publications and subscription donations to transfer in from item 5. Item 9, Sequoia High School Education Administration, 32 00000, DOI General. It's a modification requesting an increase in expenditure authorization of $258,220. The grant revenues are reduced by $1,001,465. Contributions and donations are increased by $300. Other income is increased by $450. Operating expenditures are increased by the $258,220 as already mentioned, and the balance is funded by a transfer in of $1,258,935 from general fund operations, coming from item 3 above. Number 10, Sequoia High School facilities projects, 3201100, DOI General. It's modification requesting an increase in expenditure authorization of $815,174. These funds are provided by a $423,760 transfer in from the general fund operations in item 3, and additional grant revenue of $391,414. The total budget and project list attached is now $2,743,897. Item 11, competitive projects, 322-1900 DOI self-governance. Modification requesting an increase in expenditure authorization of $48,674 from additional earmark funding, of which $22,574 is for Tar Creek and $26,100 is for National Zinc. The new total for this budget is now $164,674.
Okay, are there any additional questions of Mr. Reese? I have a motion and second. All those in... Oh, I'm sorry, Counselor.
On the higher education scholarship, as of what date did the cutoff go from the 300 students?
I believe that was through, it's for this fall's funding.
Ms. Pigeon, what's the, as of what date, almost 300 students? Because I brought a couple students in that were late.
It would have been around the first week of July.
First week of July? Okay. And the other question I have is the Sequoia High School facility projects. What are those projects specifically?
There's a pretty long list attached, yes.
Okay. And then the other question I have is the new activity fund from Sequoia. Are we going to bring all of the funds under Cherokee Nation, or just the activity? Just the activity. Is it just the activity, or is it all of them?
Currently, their bank account is being managed at Sequoia. It doesn't have any oversight by financial resources. And so that's what's happening, is it's now being brought on the nation's balance sheet.
So they can oversee the activity funds? Okay. I'll visit offline
Okay, sure.
on that. All right, thank you.
I have one comment.
Okay.
Lacey, are we finally communicating with them and they're understanding our budget process? Because they're a school, we're a tribal government. Their year end is different from ours. Are they understanding that? Are they making that transformation there?
I believe so.
I hope so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of this budget modification, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Do we have any announcements? Okay, then I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Adjourned.